Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at using dual melodies, harmonies, and riffs in a doom metal context. We're going to look at it in a couple different tunings, a couple different band styles, as well as an original collection of riffs at the end. And we're going to do it in a mix, and we're going to break it down outside of a mix. So let's go ahead and get started with the first band. We're going to be looking at Candlemass. Alright, so you just got done listening to it in a mix. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on. I'm playing it in D standard, using an orange emulation amp inside of the Opus. No amps are involved in this. So, it's a really cool riff because you have your main riff, which is just a simple... And that is based on the 6th fret, 2nd fret, 6th string 2nd fret, to the 5th fret 6th string, 2nd fret 5th string, 3rd on the 6th, and 2 on the 6th. Then you jump down to the 5th string, 5th, 4th, 2nd, another 5-4. And then on top of that, they do two harmonies. They basically do like the main harmony, then they do like a third on top of it, which is really cool. And that's roughly something along the lines of this. What's cool about that is it follows the main riff, but with embellishments. And that's a lot of times when people do these melodies, these harmonies to their riffs, they don't do a lot of embellishments. I typically don't do a lot of it either, but it is a cool way to add an extra color to your riff to make it stand out a little bit more. On top of it, they do a really cool third harmony that I'll try to remember it. It's something along the lines of... something along those lines. Now we're going to move on to example 2. Now, example 2 is just one of the coolest, just old school traditional doom songs. We're also in D for this. Sure, everybody knows it. It's Trouble, the Tempter. It does a little bit of embellishing too, and a little bit not straight following the riff, but we'll go ahead and get into it. Okay, so that's it without the backing track. Now, What I like about this one is because they're spreading the riff out, which is like, I think I mentioned in another video. They're doing like a lower register, but they're doing a higher register where they could have done the harmonies a lot closer to the main riff, and it might not have stood out as much. But with the way they do it, it's spread out and it gives you more space. So the harmony on top of that would just simply be... And when you put those two together, it gives this like really kind of like seasick, kind of disturbing quality, which is very cool. And then of course the main riff. And they do a harmony on top of that, but then they just go into... Anyway, I'm not trying to do a whole lesson on treble. Now we're going to go move on to riff number 3. It's Cathedral. We're going to be in B tuning for this. Okay, so we're back. We're doing Cathedral Ebony Tears. This is the 2 hands edition. We're in B. Very cool, dirgy, just funeral, slow, kind of sick kind of doom. Kind of like how the treble one has this kind of like sickness to the feeling. Like this really just kind of eerie vibe. This kind of does that, but even more so. Anyway, so... The main riff without the harmony is this. Now the cool thing about this riff is the harmony on top of it. It doesn't do a strict harmony. It kind of does a harmony with a melody. So it has a little bit more movement. Or check out the harmony on top so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so the harmony on top would be... Very, very, very Black Sabbath, a lot of that. But, for example, there was 2 sections in there, just to quickly show you what I'm talking about. The melody was following really close, the harmony was following really close, but then it did it moved up, whereas the other one stayed with the... It never really moves, so it does that little... Then the second movement is... So that's a cool way to take what may be a rather simple riff and give it a little bit more excitement, a little bit more dynamics. And that is very cool. Now we're going to check out a 3 riff cycle of a song that I put together for this video. Let's check that out. right, cool. So in mine, we did some thirds. We also changed the dynamics of the riff, so then it's not so like, made it more open. Stop to the chords ringing out, but then we did like a third harmony. We also did a higher octave to kind of give everything a little bit more space. That was just simply. Then when we go to the open one, we change just one note in there. Well, one placement of the note. So we go to the open. So instead of here, just move it up there. Okay, so the harmony on top of that was just thirds, just not really following the scale, just what the thirds would be. Then the final riff is such a cool riff, man. It's just now on top of that we did a little bit of movement, not a lot. It's the melody on top of that is this. Like I said, we did an octave on top of that, would just be an octave of the root notes, which was the but we did it up here. And that's how we made that riff. So anyway, this is just a basic idea of how you could use thirds in a couple different styles, a couple different types of riffs. And if you're not really used to exploring melodies and harmonies within your melody, I guess I should say, check out these bands. They do really good jobs of it. Trouble, Candlemass, Cathedral. Who else? Sabbath has done it on occasion on some riffs. But really, just check out Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden can teach you everything about that you need to know. I know it's not Doom related, but if you want to know how to use good harmonies to your melodies, that's a great source. Just check out those bands and you can really learn how to explore using harmony within your melody and on top of your riffs. See you guys in the next video.